What happens when we take one of the biggest male vocal groups in the world currently, and we compare side by side the music video with the studio recording to a live version of the song? Will we uncover some studio trickery that's there that shouldn't be there, or people don't deem normal? Or will we find out that these guys are completely legitimate? Personally, I think we're going to go with the second option because, let's face it, we've seen enough of them on this channel already. But hey, I thought I would give this sort of style of video a shot and see what people think. Also, I would like to apologize immediately. I've had to swap around how the videos work. For instance, I'm going to be the big picture in this one, and unfortunately the BTS videos are going to be small, probably right where my hand is here. Been contacted about several different copyright issues, and apparently that's the way to quote-unquote fix it. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but hey, let's find out. The people that did tell me do have quite a bit of sway and a bit of knowledge in this section of the world, so I better take what they're saying and actually run with it. So, before we begin, please do leave a like on the video. It really does help. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, and there's more ways you can help at the end if you like what we do. So without any further ado, let's have a listen to Crystal Snow, a song that you guys have been recommending for the longest time. Starting off with, well, it's listed as the music video, but I have a suspicion that it's not official, but I could be wrong. Let's have a listen to Crystal Snow. Okay, no captions, that's fine. Wonderful transition there. Wow. Wow. Okay. I'm just going to pause it there for a moment. I am going to take it about 10 seconds or so back so that we can re-listen to that section again. But I really want to point out here that of the guys that we've heard so far, because obviously this isn't all of them as of yet, we're hearing stuff that we already know. And what I mean by that is we already know that these guys have incredible voices and incredible ears for music. And the way that this song is arranged really goes toward their strengths, which is honestly fantastic. Because if I remember rightly, they get someone else to write their music. But regardless of who does it, whoever does, in fact, arrange their music, really knows what to do for their voices. Also, I'm absolutely adoring that harmony work that's on in the background. You can hear them so nicely. They're not taking too much precedence over what's actually happening. The main vocal is, in fact, the main vocal, and it is the most important part. Whoever has done the mixing of this knows that. They know what's important here, which is really, really nice. What I would have done in the mix is possibly brought the music up the tiniest little bit so that the voices and the mix of instruments sound a little bit blended, a little bit more blended rather. That's just that's absolutely a personal opinion, not a critique on how the song has been done here. So let's continue on. It's being done very, very well. Okay. Something happening with my playback here. Let me take it back a little bit. Great. They all look so much younger here. Fantastic. So, something that was happening there, and I've noticed it through a lot of the voices throughout this piece so far, when they're transitioning between head voice and chest voice, they are doing it in a really, really lovely way. And it's interesting too, because when was this released? I need to do a quick Google, hang on. Okay, so the song was released in 2018. So we're looking at 7 years ago now, on the Face Yourself album. Now that's very interesting to me, because what I'm hearing is, and please don't take this the wrong way, what I'm hearing is less mature voices than what they have now, which is a normal, completely normal thing. As people get older, the voices change. It's not for boys specifically, there's more nuance to it even for women. It's not just a case of the boy hits puberty, the voice breaks, and then that's your new voice for the rest of your life. Basically, the way that I explain it, and I hope that people can understand this, is that when you start to sing, you have a certain baseline of how your voice works. Then you start to layer on top all of the techniques, your breathing, the vowel sounds that you use, each individual little piece of that puzzle. Once you then start getting comfortable with those, you add effects to the voice. You basically can change the way that your voice sounds. And then after doing that for a particular amount of time, an undetermined amount of time, every voice is different, that becomes your new baseline. And when you sing, that's where it goes to. Now, me coming from a classical background and going into a more rock-based background, it was very, very hard for me to break those classical habits. It sounded like a classical singer singing Deep Purple. And it was very strange to start with, don't get me wrong. But then, as you get older and you are practicing that voice more, you end up with a new baseline. And that's where the voice sits. It's so clear that these guys have worked so hard on their voices since this point that they are obviously at a new baseline. Their voices sit in very different spots to what they do. And that's just an experience thing. So I would love if they redid this. I would love to hear, if they redid this, how different it would sound now. But not because I'm thinking it would sound better, it would just be different. It'd be interesting to hear.
Oh, crystal snow, crystal の真っ白なその中で君が僕を通り過ぎ水になると胸でまた流れて輝くものすべて映る光る君を見つめて待ってるさまたどこでも会いたい嘘でも握ってこの手をする温度が
I swear, if I continue doing reactions to BTS, I need to learn Korean at some point. Because the rapping in Korean sounds so much more impressive to me than rapping in English. I'm not a big rap fan, as a lot of viewers on this channel know. I don't get it a lot of the time. And I understand that people really enjoy it. People really like to do it. It is a form of self-expression. And I will never yuck someone's yum in that regard. Don't get me wrong. It's just something that I don't personally gel with. I don't personally understand it. But when I hear it in Korean, it's something that I vibe with much more than when I do in English. I got no idea why. I'm gonna need to start learning Korean, I think. Constant harmony work. That constant harmony work is really wonderful. Wonderful. Truly, truly wonderful. As I was saying, that song is really well written for their voices. And I mean, you would hope it would be at that point. They've probably got an amazing team that helps with that side of things. In fact, I would absolutely love to know exactly who does a lot of that, because they clearly knew what voices they were working with. The interesting thing for me, and it might be something that comes up a little bit more in the live version, is it's very hard when you have a group of more than, say, 3 or 4 guys to write songs or find songs, if they're pre-written, that fit all voices. In fact, it's nearly impossible. Unless you've gone out of your way to cherry pick guys that all have a very similar voice and style, it's a very hard ask, frankly. So it's going to be clear that certain songs are going to suit some vocalists in the groups better than others. But again, that might be something that we hear more in the live version. But yeah, so that was the music video, and what a beautiful song. I wish I knew what they were saying in it. I should have had some lyrics ready to go. But this live version does seem to have captions, so hopefully that will illuminate some of the questions that I have. So without any further ado, let's have a listen to Crystal Snow live. Okay, 480p is the highest we can get for quality on this one, so it will be a little fuzzy. And not just because I'm not wearing glasses. Okay. Wow, they look so much younger. interesting. Okay. So, didn't mean to blind myself there. I've got, sorry, I'm going to turn, there's a light that I've got on here. It's just too damn bright. I'm going to turn that off. So, interesting point of call here is they've made an active decision to not do a lot of the harmony work, which doesn't faze me as much as I thought it would. I kind of thought that this would be the case, that they wouldn't do as many of the harmonies live, because there were a lot on the track. And from the vibe that I was getting of the song, it needed to be emotionally vulnerable. And in order to perform this song live and to really connect it with the audience, I feel like that many harmonies would have detracted. It was great in the studio version, but it's actively been pulled back, and it's like every time somebody sings, like, and don't get me wrong, you can hear that there are little bits of harmony in the background, but not nearly as much. But what we are hearing here is a more stripped down version, almost as if they were doing like an unplugged type style show, which again is a much more vulnerable feel and a vulnerable, I don't want to say vulnerable setting, but it can be. But ultimately it's a very interesting choice. Very interesting choice. Oh, and another thing I'd like to point out as well, and I'll just go back here a second. Where is it? Okay, so obviously they've got that revolving stage, and the reason for that is they're doing a performance in what's called the round, where you've got audience 360 degrees around you. These performances are difficult, especially when it comes to mixing sound. Basically, the way that the sound goes out, because usually you've got to have speakers situated on the stage and then pointing outwards towards the audiences. The way that the sound bounces back, it all comes back and kind of congregates in the center. So it's very difficult to mix it without the earpieces, the in-ears that they've got. They've got them, so that's making it a lot easier, because they also work as like noise cancelling. Basically, with one of those ears in, and I know I talk about these a lot, with those ears in, you're not going to hear anything other than what the technician wants you to hear. Whatever they've turned up in your headphones, that's the only thing you'll hear. So I imagine these guys are like, look, give me the piano and the other guys. Like, that's probably all they're going off. But that would basically be a bare minimum type thing that they would be going for. But good lord, they're doing an incredible job, and having that revolving stage is really helping them too, because connecting with an audience in a 360 stage, very difficult. It's not easy. It feels very disjointed, but in the case of this, when you're doing a ballad, rather than just standing there facing it out to one part of the audience, they've got that the freedom of that revolving stage, so they're looking everybody in the audience at every angle of the audience, which is really, really good and really well thought out. Because if I'm right, I think I am, none of the audience has been missed for having one of the performers aim towards them, and that goes to whoever choreographed this song as well, to have them positioned in the spots that they are. This is very clever. It's a very, very clever way to pull this song back and to have this emotionally grab people when they're live. I think it's really well done. Okay, I need to go back here. Now, the reason is, remember how I was saying it's hard to get songs that are in everybody's key? Have a listen to this. Jimin, no issues. No issues. It's perfectly where his voice sits. Top of their range in terms of chest voice. Very much top of his voice too. And by top of the voice, I mean top of their chest voice. Whereas Jimin's is like definitely a few keys higher, a few tones higher than the rest of the guys, which is to be expected. And I'm not saying they're not hitting the notes, but it's definitely a case of you can hear that they're in very different parts of the voice, which could make it difficult for a song like this to work live. But they're making it work really, really well.
Crystal snow 真っ白なその中で君が僕を通り過ぎ水になると胸でまだ流れてる輝くもの全てに映る光る君を見つめて待ってるさまたどこでも会いたいそれも握ってこの手を
Oh no, rising platforms. Nah, I don't. No, no. I am terrified of heights. I hate seeing those revolving platforms. It absolutely scares the living heck out of me. I have heard too many horror stories of things going wrong for people in shows. For instance, there was a gentleman that played Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar who I'd met like many years after, but there is one particular scene in Jesus Christ Superstar where Judas needs to be pulled from the stage through the roof. I won't explain why, but if you know, you know. Obviously it's not the same here. They've got firm footing, right? But the harness that this gentleman had on broke, and he fell, I think, several meters to the ground, breaking both feet before opening night. These are the sorts of things that can go wrong, ladies and gentlemen. And also this guy, he still performed. He went up on stage on painkillers. He shouldn't have. He absolutely should not have done that, but he did it because he was very dedicated to what he was doing. But these are all the horror stories. So every time I see like a high rise like that, or somebody that's like wired up and they're just like floating onto the stage, nah, wouldn't catch me dead doing it. job to whoever did the technical side there. Wonderful. That is wonderful. All right, fantastic. So what we had there is obviously the same song twice, but in two very different circumstances. In the studio version, there was a lot going on, a lot more going on with vocal harmonies and production and that sort of thing. What we didn't have with the live version are a lot of those harmonies. As I mentioned during the playthrough, it was very much stripped back, almost like an unplugged version, almost like they, almost like an acoustic set, almost. But truly, they did a fantastic job. I think the choices that they made to differ the live version from the studio version made it really compelling to watch as an audience member. I genuinely think that that kind of emotional vulnerability that they were able to show just singing on their own far outweighed the production that was in the original version. Would I say that the live version is a replacement for the studio version? No. No, I wouldn't. Because they are so very different. One works in a studio setting, one works in a live setting. And this is a thing that I keep learning about these guys, is that they're very clever. Or whoever handles the music direction on their side is very clever, and they know what they're doing. They definitely know what they're doing. They're making very, very good choices for them musically. And that is just something you don't see very often. And frankly, I love it. In fact, both versions I love. Like, if I was feeling more somber and I wanted to listen to this song, I'd listen to the live version. But I would listen to the studio version just on my everyday sort of thing. I think both songs have, like, both versions have their place. And that's fantastic. I think that's truly wonderful. Anyway, that's all I have to say on that one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like a favorite if you enjoyed, subscribe, do all that sort of thing, and I'll see you in the next one. Also, don't forget, leave a comment of the songs you'd like me to react to next, and we'll see what we can do. All right, bye for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, feel free to go over to Patreon and support us for as little as $3 Australian per month. By doing so, you'll join the list of wonderful people here. Also, if you're into gaming, I have recently rebooted my gaming channel, so feel free to go over there and have a look. Link to both the Patreon and the gaming channel in the description below.